Hello everybody and welcome to KDStudios Round Highlights. I'm your host Kevin and today I'll be going through all the highlights and talking points of Round 3 of the 2021 A-League season. There was only 2 games on this weekend, one in Newcastle and one in Campbellton. So I guess we head off to Newcastle where Carl Robinson met his old team for the first time since he left the Jets, with Robinson's men beating the Jets 2-1 at McDonald Jones Stadium. The Wanderers took an early lead in the 7th minute when Ziggy Gordon headed a James Troisi corner straight into the goal. They nearly took a 2-goal lead when Nikolai Muller found the back of the net. Unfortunately, Simon Cox passed the ball to Muller from an offside position and therefore was rubbed off. Connor O'Toole would attempt a long shot from goal to level the scores, surprising Daniel Marsh and causing him to drop the ball in his initial save. Unfortunately, Valentino Yule couldn't take the chance and unfortunately passed it to a Wanderers player. Tate Russell would then extend the Wanderers' lead in the second half, shooting from a long bomb, while Bugard pulled one back around the 70th minute after Nazarene took a free kick and Bugard headed the subsequent ball into the net. Unfortunately, it wasn't to be as the Wanderers would hold on to the lead and win 2-1. It was Carl Robinson's first trip to Newcastle since he left the Jets, and he was met by quite a lot of boos from fans, as was James Troisi as he was taking his corner, although it would be the Wanderers that got the last laugh as Z. Gordon headed that in, and the Wanderers won the game against the Jets. As for the Jets, yes, they've had a kind of ownership restructure, but it seems like it's going to be long times ahead and a long season for the Jets, who look to be struggling at the moment. On Saturday afternoon at Campbellton, it was Macarthur FC who was involved in their first ever draw against the Wellington Phoenix. David Bull would open up the scorings in the 38th minute to put Wellington in front 1-0. But in the second half, with Wellington reduced to 10 men, it was Macarthur's Markel Saseta who scored to level the scores at 1-1. Macarthur very nearly won the game very late in the game, with Derbyshire having a strike in the 92nd minute. Unfortunately, the gap it was going into, Marinkovic tapped it over so it wouldn't reach the gap and it went over the crossbar. Reduced to 10 men, did I say? Yes, in the second half, Wellington were reduced to 10 men after Alex Rufer tripped Dennis Jonro. It went straight to the VAR, and the VAR deemed that the incident was worthy of a red card. So, essentially, Wellington were reduced to 10 men, and it wouldn't take long for Macarthur to level the scores. And they were pretty much the dominant team of the second half. So, over to the ladder now. The Central Coast Mariners still stay on top, despite having not played a game this week. Macarthur move into third with that draw against Wellington, while the Wanderers with the win against Newcastle move into the top 6. Wellington stay in the same position, and poor old Newcastle down at the bottom of the ladder without a point, along with Melbourne and Perth Glory, who are yet to play a game. So, over to next week's games. On Saturday afternoon, we start off with the Sydney Derby at ANZ Stadium, Sydney v the Wanderers. I reckon Sydney will win that game, probably the team to beat for the year. Later that night, probably one of the Melbourne derbies, probably the most insignificant one, City v United. I reckon Melbourne City will bounce back from their shock loss against Adelaide. On Sunday, it will be Newcastle, Macarthur, McDonald Jones Stadium. Backing in Macarthur to get the win there, as Newcastle are kind of struggling at the moment. Also, on Wednesday, Newcastle will play Brisbane at the same venue. I reckon Brisbane will win. They showed a pretty good display against Melbourne. No, not Sundays. That got cancelled. We're talking about Saturday 2 weeks ago. Brisbane play like that, they should beat Newcastle. A day before, Central Coast versus Western Sydney. I reckon Wanderers will get the win there. Central Coast, or actually no, I think it'll be a draw. I think it'll be a draw, that game. Also, later on Wednesday, Perth and Adelaide. In Perth's first game of the season, I reckon Adelaide will continue on their good form and win that. Perth will be very rusty. So, that were all the highlights and talking points of Round 3. Hopefully I've caught you up on what you needed to know about Round 3. Please like, please subscribe. Please comment what you think of the video and of the current state of the A-League down below. check out some of my other videos, and I'll see you in next week's edition of A-League Round Reviews. Goodbye.